Hello everybody, welcome to Nintendo Power Block. I am your host, ADV. Thank you guys for joining me. And as always, it's the wise Wisconsinite, Mr. Jesse Douglas. What up, sir?
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
It is going good, everybody. Yes, it is another audio episode, but a certain person might be making their return officially next week. We can't say who it is. You probably know who it is. You can probably guess. But yes, we hopefully our special guest or our returning person will be on board once again. So I'll leave it at that. But we're going to get into the show of what you've been playing. Jesse, what you been playing with power?
Okay, so I my friend Pat ended up getting me a Christmas present early because Amazon had gotten a restock of the Super Nintendo Classics. Mm-hmm. And so he ended up getting me one and just gave it to me right away this weekend. So I hooked that up, and so I've been playing some. I played some Super Metroid and Link to the Past. And then I haven't played it in a long time, but I actually enjoy the Kirby's Dream course.
Yeah.
You know, the golf game.
Yes.
Cause I used to play that. I never really hardcore played it, but I did enjoy it. So I might actually sit down and actually try to play that game through someday. But they have the other Kirby game and stuff on there, and so I'll probably be playing stuff off of that every once in a while.
Did you unlock the Star? Or you didn't probably play Star Fox, did you?
No, I didn't play Star Fox. Yeah, because you just have to play a little to beat the first level, right? And then it unlocks the second one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably do that eventually. But yeah, so I played that a little bit. As far as Switch goes, I played a little more of the Midnight Deluxe. That's usually something I'll do, just if I have a couple of minutes that I, want to just do something for a little bit or whatever.
Uh-huh.
It's a fun game. I enjoy those simple puzzle type games like that with the where you use your, finger to move things. There's this really cool game that I have on my phone. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's, I think it was Draw Physics or something like that. Mm-hmm. I don't remember exactly what it was called, but it the whole idea of it, Space Physics, that's what it was called. The whole idea of it is you had this ball thing that you had to move into a hole, and then you had to draw stuff with your finger. If you drew a circle, you could make a wheel. And so if you drew two circles, you make two wheels, and then draw a line connecting the two, all of a sudden it animates and it starts rolling, and then it will push your ball wherever. And then you've got to draw with your finger to make ramps to things to try to get this ball to where you want it or whatever.
Oh, wow.
So it was a really fun game. I had that back in the day, a long time. That game's really old. That's I think I got that when I got maybe my Samsung 3.
Wow.
So or something like that. I think it's when Samsung Galaxy 3 came out that I got it. It's pretty old. Like I remember playing it for like years and years and years ago.
It sounds
First
almost,
getting.
and for some reason, it sounds like Scribble Knots.
Yeah, I mean it's possible that like I have never really played Scribble Knots quite. Like
But you know the premise of it.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, I know
Okay.
what it is. But yeah, like so it's very similar. Like to Midnight the Deluxe is like the little cube thing. You're trying to get it in a hole. But like on that, you're like stretching. You're like rubber banding them. You're like kind of like angry. It's more like Angry Birds actually. That game is
Okay.
Midnight Deluxe. It's more like that kind of style where depending on how far you stretch out the like the power of how far he flies. That's all determines everything. So, it's a fun game. I like playing that. And then I did play a little Fortnite because I wanted to really out the update and stuff.
I still haven't started that on my Switch.
I really haven't. I haven't played Fortnite like much at all lately. Like because for a while there, like that's all I was playing every week.
Right.
Like and so I gave that a shot. I literally only played one match, and I think I lasted till like the 18th person left. But I did find the golf cart and drive that and get a feel for how that works, and it's it's pretty good, the controlling of it and stuff. Much like a golf cart, like you'd expect. It's not very powerful. So like, if you're trying to go up a steeper cliff, it takes a little power, a little weighting to get up it, depending on how steep it is,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a kind of a useful thing to have. Just because I was like, I've always liked, dropping on the very outside of the map. And a lot of times that, like, though I don't have to deal with other people and I can usually stock up pretty good, the downfall is a lot of the times I'd be doing a lot of running then to try to get to the spot, before the wall closed in on me. Because it usually, like the circle is usually away from the outsides of the map, for the most part. So now, like I can do like what I normally do and not have to be quite as worried. So, because I don't know how prevalent they are in the map.
Yes.
But just the fact that on my first game I was able to find one. I'm guessing they're probably in each little town area has probably got at least one. I don't know for sure. I'll have to play it more to find out. But yeah, so I just wanted to try that. I probably will go back to that a little bit. And that's pretty much it for Nintendo. So.
Anything else?
No, that's pretty much it for Nintendo. I mean, I have stuff I played for Xbox, but I'll just do that in our Arsenal X.
Okay, you'll probably have more for Arsenal X because I haven't cut my Xbox on.
Yeah,
but I have a reason why. Okay, so for me, definitely been playing a lot of Octopath Traveler. I was playing some today before I messaged Jesse, be like, I'll send you the notes. I'm playing Octopath Traveler at the moment, doing some grinding. So I am on my 8th character, and I gotta just do a little bit more leveling up, and then I'll go fight the boss and be done with her story. But I had just finished Primrose, and man, I was just like, ooh, this master thing was gruesome. But I kind of like how her story, her first chapter ended, and then I was just like, okay, she's gonna be like really good. Because you know what, to me personally, I'm not gonna do the cheat, the exploit that people have been doing for it.
Oh, I haven't heard about it. I've been.
Oh, I think you muted,
Oh,
Jesse.
can you hear me now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Okay, 1 second. So yeah, I just finished Primrose's story, and man, the master was gruesome, dude. Like literally gruesome. He did something to one of her friends, and then it became a boss fight after that. And then what happened after that was just like, yikes! This game was getting real.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, just from that demo and just kind of learning that little bit, like you knew like right away that this wasn't gonna be all rainbows and sunshine.
exactly. So working on that. Didn't get to Darksiders because of Octopath in this, and then I played Knack 3 and I actually beat it.
Oh, okay, nice.
And as good as that game is, once again, Sony needs to stop with these long, unnecessary levels. If a lot of this stuff feels like they're pandering to make the game longer.
Oh, so like one of those where it just feels like it's just added content.
Exactly, it's dragging on. It of course it looks like it follows the Uncharted pattern. That majority of the game is going to be in a flashback, and then when you get to the present part of the game, you got to do the whole level over, and then it just extends a little bit more. And when it should have finished, they want to extend it more, and it's just like, are you serious? Come on now.
They tend to do that in Japanese anime way too much too. They add all this these episodes in that are just filler. Like it's like no one cares about. Like I've been trying to find a good website that tells me what episodes to watch of Naruto and what I can skip, because a lot of the times, like out of the 260 episodes or whatever of the first season, there's like probably like 80 of them that you didn't have to watch because they were just side things that had nothing to do with the main storyline. It's like, Jesus, like no one likes that. They should learn from Japanese anime. Don't just put stuff in there just to make it longer, because that, people just don't like that. It's, if it doesn't really, help the story along, then don't bother.
Yeah. So, last but not least, I just started Detroit Become Human, and it's really good. It's very entertaining. I kind of like how they set up most of all the characters, and like the scenarios are not too long, depending on what you do. They're kind of probably, I would say, maybe 15 to 17 minutes.
Okay.
And then like you literally just move on from there. So it has a lot of replay value because of they show you a chart for all your decisions, and
okay.
you could go back and try to unlock stuff to see a different ending. So
Okay.
I went through all three intros of the characters that you play, and so now I'm at the point where I just finished this one character. I got to get all their names and stuff down. I finished his story of him getting like his body back. There's a reason why his body ends up getting destroyed, and it might lead into why he joins this group. So it's very fascinating on how good this game probably can be, and I can't wait to go back and kind of unlock more of the game.
Yeah.
And go do different paths and stuff. Because it's very interesting, and it made me kind of write a blog. Not connected to Detroit Become Human, but I'll tell a little bit more about that at the end of the show. Last but not least, play Ikaruga before I actually recorded like optional opinion. I don't know if you heard the latest episode or anything.
No, I've been so behind on podcasts. Like there's a bunch of, like, I have, I think 6 of them in my like 6 different podcasts and my thing that I haven't listened to of like a week ago or last week. Cause what happened is one of the podcast, like I listened to the Radio Lab podcast.
Yeah.
And they had a really good, series going on called Gonads, and it like talks about like, you know, a whole bunch of different things, you know, dealing with that like human like chromosomes and what determines whether someone's a boy or a girl. And they just released 2-part like episode 3 and 4 this week, and they're really good listens. So
that's good.
I put those ahead of everything else because I was so intrigued by everything.
Yeah, so the latest optional opinion is about Treasure Games, and so Treasure as the company. So I kind of do a rundown of like how they was formed, all the people who came and left, how they started off with Sega, and then how they started making stuff for Nintendo. And then talked about Radiant Silvergun and Ikaruga, why they're like one of the 2 most well-known games from Treasure. And then kind of talked about, you know, what can we expect them on the future, because they haven't really released anything. And I know Nicholas just released Ikaruga on PlayStation 4 and Switch. And it's already backwards compatible on Xbox One. So, I kind of like talked a little bit more there and stuff. But the next one is going to be good. And I don't know, the next topic is, and it'll be out this Friday. The next topic is, did the Sega Genesis change to 16-bit era?
Oh, okay.
So, going to be talking about the Genesis, the Sega CD, the 32X, but also talked about you know, just a whole era of the Sega Genesis, and how and if it did change to 16-bit compared to what Nintendo did. I think Sega did something different that a lot of people didn't expect. So that's going to be the episode for next week. And then I'm trying to team up with the Nerds Gone Platinum. And you guys, if you haven't checked out Nerds Gone Platinum, do check them out. I'm going to try to touch down with those guys and have a reflection on the PlayStation 2 and talk about that history. I've been doing a lot of history episodes. Besides getting to like, cause I'm be jumping back into the thematic ones. But I'm kind of finding a lot of this stuff, this historic stuff, kind of very interesting, and looking back at this retro things, and kind of looking into this perspective and how it plays even in today. So that's going to be a good episode. I can't wait. Hopefully they touch down with me and we could do that episode.
Yeah, well, like especially when you're comparing like the Super Nintendo to the Sega Genesis,
Mm-hmm.
Like it's very reminiscent of like what we're going through with Xbox and PlayStation, like because like Sega, like during that time, like there was a point in time when their hardware was much more powerful than Super Nintendo's. Like certain games looked better on there, but then there was also certain games that looked better on the, like it was kind of like like certain things looked better on each system, but they both like had their own things. And then obviously like Super Nintendo always has been known for having the better sound card, and like the sound has always been better on Nintendo versus Sega's. But a lot of the time Sega had, like some things had better graphics. Well, at least like between Master System and like the regular NES, like there were like certain games that I bought for the Master System that I like because I have the converter cartridge that lets me play Master System games in the Sega. And so like certain games that looked better on Master System, I bought for that instead of buying for NES. So there's just it's interesting all during that era.
It's just for everybody to know, I did an episode called Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat, and kind of talked about how that kind of played a part in the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis console wars, if you want to consider it. If you look at what part 1 did versus to what part 2 did, but because of what Night Trap did for that I still think people need to go look at Sega, Nintendo, and Joe Lieberman when they was all meeting up at the Senate, and how the ESRB came about. Very historic. Check it out. But we're going to move on to our news bits, because we could go on talking about this topic for a good while. So this is kind of breaking news in a sense. Animal Crossing Isawa Mora has left Nintendo. News has surfaced Nintendo director Isawa Moro has left the Japanese company. And everybody, our news is coming from NintendoLife.com, so do check them out if you guys like their content, and follow them on Twitter at Nintendo Life. Best known for his work on the Animal Crossing series, Moro has taken on a variety of roles over the years. Arriving at Nintendo in 2001, he started out as the assistant director on The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, and has since covered Animal Crossing series. And since has covered the Animal Crossing series. He first worked as a debugger on Animal Crossing E+, and eventually went on to co-direct Animal Crossing New Leaf for the 3DS. He most recently received a special mention in the Splatoon 2 credits. No particular reason has been cited for his departure. From the team and the community here at Nintendo Life, we wish Mr. Morrow all the best. And I wish him all the best too. I enjoy Animal Crossing, and I love his work and everything. And he kind of didn't get the praise that he kind of deserved, but it is sad to see him go.
Yeah, but at the same time, like when stuff like this happens, like there's always that possibility of getting something out of someone that we may not have otherwise been able to get. Mm-hmm. Like, like you hate to see people like a lot of times you hear about like developer, groups, like breaking up and then going to, form other groups or whatever, kind of like Respawn and things like that. Yes. And then we end up getting something amazing from it. So, like I'm always trying to be optimistic, like it's a bummer when someone who's been working with something for so long has to leave, but maybe, who knows, it's fun to see what we'll get out of it, like what other new things will come of it.
Right. So. And, and we don't know if he left on good terms or bad terms, but like just like you, Jesse, I can't wait to see what he does in the future. Maybe he's retiring, and his work at Nintendo's kind of been done, and he probably wants to do other stuff. So
yeah, well, and Nintendo seems to be kind of having this mindset that they want to kind of usher in the fresh new ideas and trying to kind of move along and kind of keep up with the times kind of thing, like they've talked a little bit about trying to, like some of the guys that have been in Nintendo kind of stepping down and whatever. So
yeah,
like just
bringing like kind of the new talent in a sense.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna move on. Anti Creates CEO Takuya Azu wants to develop a remake of Zelda 2. Japanese developer Anti Creates is known for its action-packed platform games like Mega Man Zero, Mighty Number 9, Blaster Master Zero, and Bloodstained: Curse of the Moon. During a recent interview with Nintendo Force, the CEO of the company, Takuya Azu, was asked what game he would select if his team was required to remake one of Nintendo's existing games. His response was certainly an interesting one, selecting the 1986 title Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. Just one? Well, this is his quote. Just one? Well, I would love to make a new The Adventure of Link for the modern era. Despite being a success at the time of release, Zelda 2 was never considered a true masterpiece compared to games in the series before or after. It's remembered as a title that did not provide a classic Zelda experience due to its side-scrolling design. In saying this, its legacy lives on, being the first game in the series to include NPCs and one of the earlier games to combine platform and role-playing elements. Surprisingly, this isn't the first time we heard about someone eyeing off the Zelda 2, with the man behind Wonder Boy: The Dragon Trap on Switch, of the belief he could make the game a lot better than it actually was. They asked, do you think Anti-Creates will have what it takes to recreate the classic Zelda title in NES? Would you want to see a remake of the game like Zelda 2: The Adventures of Link? Have you ever played it before?
Yeah, I've played a little bit of it. The problem is I didn't really get into the Zelda games until obviously like more of the Ocarina. Like I played them, but I didn't. The first time I ever finished a Zelda game was the Ocarina of Time.
Really?
So, yeah. I just like I liked them, but I never really had I mostly was a Sega guy.
Uh-huh.
So like all of my playing of Nintendo stuff was at friends' house.
Okay.
So I enjoyed playing them, but I never really owned them myself until, N64 is when I bought my basically I'd bought it myself. And then I had played kind of very similar to how Breath of the Wild happened.
Yeah.
My friend Pat ended up getting it, and he would bring it over, and we would literally sit down and just like play it together, like take turns like playing the game, and then eventually I got it myself. That kind of happened with Ocarina of Time. My friend at the time, Jeff, had bought it, and he had the N64, and I think I had I don't know if I didn't have the N64 yet, or I did. I just didn't have the money to buy that game yet.
Yeah.
I think might have been how it happened. But I just remember playing it like on his system a lot. And then I think what happened is I bought my 64 a little bit later. And then my other friends, my friend Robert and stuff had one too. And then that's when, like, after I'd beat that, but we would play like the wrestling games and stuff like that, the THQ wrestling games all the time. Like that's mostly what we played in, like GoldenEye and stuff like that. But yeah, like that was the first time I had owned my own Zelda game. So
you never played two. Wow. I remember my mom getting Zelda 2 for me. We was at some kind of store in close to our house, or about 15 minutes from our house, and I seen it in like a bin, and I picked it up. I showed my mom, just like, yeah, this is the game that I want. And she brought it for me. It was still the gold cartridge, but it was blue writing this time instead of the red. And I've never beat the game because it was a little bit too hard, because you had the hit detection was off, and you had like this butter knife, and some of the localization was off, and I just never beat it, and that's why it's kind of like low on my Legend of Zelda list.
Yeah.
And it's very weird because compared to all, I haven't beat the whole Zelda series. Like all the side games, I've never played, never beat, and well, because I never owned them. But like, two of the DS ones, like the train and the touchscreen one, those two I didn't beat, but I bought them. I never beat Majora's Mask because I didn't like the time mechanic.
I was the same way.
And I didn't beat Twilight Princess. I got to the end, and got to the final. I guess got to like the last bit of it, and then just stopped playing it. I couldn't figure it out, and I just never returned to it. So, which is bad because I own it for GameCube and I own it for Wii, and I want to go back and play it. It came out for Wii U, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that. Yeah. Didn't they do like an HD?
Yeah, they did. I have it for Wii U also. So I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna play it on Wii U and beat it there. Cause I got far on it on the GameCube version, and I did get far on it on the Wii version. But I didn't play it all the way on the Wii U version. So I have it. I just need to pop it in and like go straight through that game and beat it. I never got to beat Skyward Sword neither. It's just, and mostly it's just me jumping around different games. That's pretty much it. I did beat Wind Waker, and I'm working on Breath of the Wild for my backlog. So I did get the Master Sword on my Wii U, and I still have one more person to do, which is the Fire Mountain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'm now playing it I have it on Switch, so I'm going to be spending the next 2 weeks on the Switch version. Just redoing everything again. Trying to figure out how in the heck I'm going to do this mountain thing. The mountain part, because I'm just like, the color is burning me.
It's been a long enough now that I honestly, I think I know what I had to do. I think you just have to basically just forge forward and like try to make it to the area to get what you need to, but I guess I don't remember. It's been long enough now that I kind of forget how
but you beat Breath of the Wild, right?
Yeah, for the most part. Like I've beaten, Ganon and
okay, so
I've been going back though, trying to like do all the side stuff, and like I've done most of the side stuff, like built the town and stuff like that. Terry Town, is it, or whatever?
I think so.
Yeah. I basically beat it. Yeah, like that. Literally, I think that Breath of the Wild and Ocarina of Time are the only two Zelda games that I've beat, like played completely through.
Yeah,
because unfortunately, I gave up kind of early on Twilight Princess. I liked it was a bummer because it was like everything I wanted the next Zelda to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like after Ocarina of Time, but there was just certain things about it that kind of lost me, that I just didn't enjoy it quite as much. But I was having a hard time too. Like I was get lost like really easy in that game. I don't know. Like maybe it was just me, but I think too a part of the problem was at that time there was a lot going on in my life, and like games kind of took a back seat for the most part during that time. Like, cause I'm trying to think what year did Twilight Princess come out?
Twilight Princess came out, I think 2005 or 2006 or 2007.
Okay, yeah. So like I would have.
Yeah, because I think it's 2004, 2005. Let's go from 4 to 6 because when it
Yeah.
got to the last year of GameCube and Wii was coming out, uh, they brought out the Wii version, and then like in December or November, like that following month, they brought out the GameCube version.
Okay, yeah, it says release November 19th, 2006.
2006. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I know Link to the Past I beat in. Link's Awakening for Game Boy I beat. And the DX version I did also beat the color version. Oracle Seasons of Ages I think on my Wii. I have on my Wii U, but I need to beat them. Or is my Wii U or my 3DS? I gotta go check. But I did. Those two I need to play and beat. And Minish Cap I need to beat. Minish Cap I have on my Wii U, and I still have the original Game Boy Advance cartridge of that. So a lot of the main games, I get to a certain point and then I just jumped into something else. But like Wind Waker I beat, Ocarina of Time I beat, and Breath of the Wild is my next one that I'm trying to beat, and then I'll try to go back in the past because I've always bought the Zelda games or Link, the Link games, Zelda games, whatever you want to call them. I've always bought those games when they release. Link Between Worlds I also beat too.
Okay.
So, but we're gonna move on from that. If Antichrist wants to make the Legend of Zelda 2, go right ahead. They're going to have to do a big fix, localization, and give Link a better sword.
Yeah.
That butter knife attack, it sucks. But
Yeah.
we're going to get into the next story. Taku no Tatsujin Drumming Fun is officially confirmed for the Western Switch release. Bandai Namco has officially announced that Taco no Tatsujin Drumming Fun will arrive on Switch in Europe and North America this November. We've been expecting this Tokyo drum rhythm game to arrive for some time, with several recent trademarks appearing recently, which all hinted at a Western release at some point in the near future. This Switch edition of the game boasts unique features that were designed especially with the console in mind. Using the Joy-Con controllers as drumsticks, Taco no Tatsujin Drumming Fun introduces motion control play that aims to replicate the popular arcade-style experience so often seen in Japan. The game also features 20 multiplayer rhythm-based mini-games that can be played by up to 4 players, as well as a rhythm games mode in which players will be able to play as characters from classic Nintendo games, including Kirby and a Squid from Splatoon 2. There's no word just yet on whether or not the Horu Taku drum controller will also make it over to the West, but the product is currently available to import from Play Asia. Taco no Tatsujin Drumming Fun launches on Nintendo Switch in both regions on November 2nd. And they did say that the drum is not coming to the West. So we are not getting it. But if you want to import it, like they said, you could go to Play Asia and import it.
This would be a really good opportunity for them to bring some of those songs from the Donkey Kong bongo game.
Yes,
Over.
yes. Like I'm literally like. I hope I could get this game and stuff because I want to have like sushi. Like I kind of want. It feels like it's a party game that I just want to hang out with people. We have sushi. Somebody bring some sake. And we kind of just dress up like well, I was gonna say dress up like with the oily man, how they have the oil and then they got their kind of underwear style or some kind of celebration thing. Like kind of have like actual Japanese intention and feel to it, but pretty much like have sushi and drinks and friends over. Like I'm glad that this is coming over because I think one of them might have came over, but I know the series is very big in Japan. And I think it would do well here in America. So, November 2nd, that's another good game to be looking out for America. I haven't seen the reviews for Famitsu because it is out in Japan, but I haven't seen the reviews just yet for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, playing Donkey Kong bongos, yes.
Yeah, those are fun games. I enjoyed those a lot. That's the thing that they got the whole motion controls and stuff like perfect on the Switch now, and it's just like, I'm hoping for more stuff like this. I know a lot of people don't like the motion controls and things like that, but this is the kind of stuff that I'm kind of waiting to see what we've kind of since the beginning with the whole HD Rumble and stuff like that. There's just so many more opportunities for them to make unique games based around the controllers, so this is the kind of stuff that I was kind of hoping we would see, eventually see more of this kind of stuff, hopefully, moving forward. So,
well, they know that game can sell big and appease to a lot of people here in the West. Like, this is a good way for people to get into the series, because I'm like, if this game does good, and I really hope it does, Nintendo, I know you don't listen to this podcast, but here's my prayer. Please bring Elite Beat Agents to Switch.
Yeah, I've never played that, but I've heard of it.
Oh, it is so good. Even if you can't put it on the big screen and you have to reconfigure some things, I would love for Elite Beat Agents to come to Switch and still have the touch base where, they kind of send you a special pin with the game. But check it out, everybody. Check out Elite Beat Agents that came on DS. A lot of people, they have a different name in Japan, and it did somewhat well here in America, and everybody was expecting for that game, more of those games to come out, and they never released it. It's never been re-released or anything, and hopefully Nintendo, the Rhythm Heaven games, is more known and focused here in the West, but Elite Beat Agents, everybody really wants that game to come back. And I think Nintendo could do it. How they would do it with motion control would be interesting. But even if they gave you a pen thing and you play a lot of this on the go, because you really need to play Elite Beat Agents with headphones to help you with the timing and stuff.
Okay.
That game would do wonders. It would look fantastic. It has a lot of covers of well-known popular games. And just look at the game and stuff. They got Skater Boy on it. And man, I've almost beat it, but I gotta every time I get to the last section on the hardest difficulty, it always messes me up. And so I never got a chance to beat it, because I think they do Crazy in Love. They do I think a Beyonce song, and they have the Jackson's 5 ABCs 1 2 3 on it.
Oh,
and it's really good. You got to check it out. It's so fun. But this Taco no the drum game, yes, I'm so into it. I think I will buy it. Even without me getting the drum thing, I kind of want to just play a rhythm game with the Joy-Cons and really learn it and be feel Japanese. Like I said, I'll go get some sushi. I know how to get some, and just boom, ba 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 ba. And I can't wait to see what the song list would be. So
yeah.
So we're gonna move on. Nintendo Labo's new vehicle kit will let you drive, dive, and fly on your Switch. Nintendo has just revealed a new Labo Adventure will arrive on September 14th for the price of $69.99. The Nintendo Labo Toy-Con 3 vehicle kit contains materials to build a variety of customizable Toy-Con, including a car, submarine, plane, pedal, and 2 keys. Once constructed, these cardboard creations provide access to a variety of fun games and activities. The kit includes a physical copy of the Labo vehicle software as well as the following parts and materials. Cardboard sheets by 25 includes extra sheets for customization. Reflective sticker sheets, which you get one of those. One sponge sticker sheet. One string. Gourmet set in gray. Gourmet set in red. You get 2 of those each. Rubber bands large. You get 3 with some spares. And rubber bands smalls. You get 12 of those and some spares. And the official PR for it says, Nintendo Labo Vehicle Kit will unlock even more ways for people to make, play, and discover together as they speed through races, battle cars equipped with extendable arms, and explore a mysterious world. Each vehicle features its own controls and special moves, and with the second key, players can even invite a co-pilot along in their in-game journey. Interacting with the assembled Toy-Con creations instantly translate into in-game actions to create a true immersive experience. From pulling the cord on the car to pop a wheelie, pushing a button on the submarine to launch a grappling hook, and so much more. As with every Nintendo Labo kit, Nintendo Labo Vehicle Kit includes its own unique Nintendo Switch software designed to work with the included Toy-Con projects. Enjoy the fun of making each Toy-Con creation, playing immersive games with them, discovering how they work, and even inventing new ways to play. All materials needed to complete each Toy-Con creations are included. No glue, tape, or scissors required. The possibilities of Nintendo Labo Vehicle Kit can be expanded even further with Toy-Con Garage. This intuitive and interactive programming tool is included with every Nintendo Labo kit and features a simple visual interface and handy tutorials designed for players of all ages. Toy-Con Garage encourages players to experiment with the Toy-Con creations they build or craft their own original designs using handy household items like paper cuts, sticker stands, ribbon. With Toy-Con Garage, the possibility of Nintendo Labo become almost limitless. Players of all ages can enjoy hours of inventing, tinkering, crafting, playing, and enriching fun. Nintendo Labo originally arrived on the Switch in April with the release of the Toy-Con Variety Kit and the Toy-Con Robot Kit. The vehicle kit is the third pack to be announced. Doug Bowser, Nintendo of America's Senior Vice President of Sales and Marketing, said the company was excited to offer fun gameplay experiences with the latest kit and was looking forward to seeing the Nintendo Labo community continue to grow. So I think definitely with this vehicle kit, really cool. Guys, go check out the trailer. It's very exciting. I would love to see Mario Kart 8 DX run with these peripherals.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. If you could have I keep on forgetting what the name of the Starlink.
Yeah.
Like if they had something similar to Starlink where there was different kinds of cars that you could build, like different kinds of packet, or have a couple packs, but you could have each pack has so many different kinds of car parts, mm-hmm. and you could mix them around, and then have some if there was some kind of way that that you could scan it and then have that car be made in the Mario Kart game would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I would love to have Double Dash like that.
Yeah.
That would be if we could do co-pilot and stuff, and we all have our vehicles doing it Double Dash style. I think that would be so cool. Or turn it into Mario Kart Arcade or something like that.
Yeah, well, do you remember the cars that they used to make? I don't know if they were by Matchbox or whatever, but there used to be these different kind of cars that you could get, and they came apart in sections. Yeah. And you could mix and match the sections of the car to make up your own design.
Yeah.
Have something like that, where there could be two different pieces. like a full cart in Mario Kart, like for the game would be 4 pieces, but like if they did make like a Double Dash 2, like you could have it where like the player 2 could mix whatever 2 pieces he wants for the back of the car.
Uh-huh.
And then the driver or whatever, the other player 1 would have whatever pieces he can mix and match to have so like you could both it would be like a collaborative of the 2 players to make what the car looks like.
Yes, Jesse.
That would be kind of cool.
I love that. That would be cool. But let's make it 3. Give him an extra one, because you probably would need something for a weapon.
Yeah, I suppose, like some kind of weapon add-on too would be something that you could add, to the back and the front.
Like it's their specialty or something.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yes, I would love that. Ooh, and then probably like the coins you get throughout the game, your races, it's split between you guys, and you could buy more parts for it.
Yeah, that would be or like and that it could be something like Starlink too, where you can do it, like you can buy pieces physically, or you can buy them digitally, like give you the choice. Yeah,
that'd be cool. Yeah, listen, Nintendo. We just gave you ideas.
Well, honestly, I think if they do end up making another Mario Kart, I think that would be the way to go, is to make a Double Dash 2, because like I feel like people next to the Mario Kart 8, Double Dash was a really good, was the other really good Mario Kart game, like where they kind of changed it up, but it still worked really well.
Yeah, and I think because of the functionality with the Joy-Cons, it literally will work. And or you want to use the Pro Controller, you can. But with Nintendo Labo, I think they having all these ideas and stuff in the vehicle kit. When the next Mario Kart game come out, that will be already in place, so you could just add on upon it. That would be cool.
Yeah.
So. Well, we got just 2 more stories. The Nintendo Switch is headed to Turkey, but will cost customers almost $500 US. The Nintendo Switch will soon be available for customers to buy in Turkey, but systems are set to cost a staggering high price of almost $500. That's actually 1.5 times the price that we have. A few years back, Nintendo abruptly left the Turkish market due to the country's troubling financial situation. But a new distributor called CD Media is now in charge of Nintendo's dealings in the country. This new arrangement means that the Switch will finally be available for those wanting to buy Nintendo's latest hardware, but the prices are scarily high, especially considering the nation's financial difficulties are far from over. You can see some of the prices for yourself. The Nintendo Switch Gray, Neon Blue, Neon Red console is $2,399 TL, or $495, 377 pounds. Joy-Con Gray, Joy-Con Neon Red left, and the Neon Blue right is $559 TL. That's $115 US, 87 pounds. Nintendo Switch Pro Controller is $499 TL. That's $102 USD, and 78 pounds. Super Mario Odyssey is $379 TL. That's $78 US, $60 pounds. And The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is $329 TL, which is $68 US, $52 in the pounds. Naturally, fans aren't especially happy with this news, and were no doubt hoping for a price that coincides with those found in the UK and US. As it stands, some of these products are actually around 1.5 times the cost found in those regions, despite the previously mentioned financial troubles. So, they are getting it. $500 may be steep, but I think if the Switch kind of plays in Turkey like all the other systems, it's there's no region lock to it. People could find out ways on how to play games from different regions and things like that. And see if they could play, if they get the system, they pay $500. But let's say all their games gonna be, they switch like to the American, they got a account that's American and stuff, and they're paying American prices. Like even if they have like Amazon or something like that, they could probably find cheaper ways to pay for the games digitally. But Turkey is, they're having financial troubles. You probably would have to research the history behind that, because I fully don't know. But like $500, I could understand. Because probably shoot, I don't even know if Microsoft and Sony are even selling their products in Turkey. And I don't know if PC is a big thing in Turkey. But at least Nintendo is working with another company to make the system available there. And we'll kind of see how it does. I don't know when the release date is for it or anything, but I mean, they just announced saying that it was coming to Turkey. But the price, $500, pretty steep.
Yeah, that's the thing, is we take stuff like that for granted here because we're just, we're so used to, and I mean, even, some of the consoles can get pricey, but they're usually, that's because they're offering something, that when it's broken down, it would cost more to build that, that system than what you're paying for sometimes. So, but yeah, like $500. That's, you're buying. You could, like, here you could buy an Xbox One X for that.
Heck yeah.
Like,
you could buy
like
one,
that.
You could
like
buy one probably cheaper in Japan with some games.
Yeah. If that, like, honestly, if that was the price, like, let's say we had to spend $500 for one here, I probably still wouldn't have a Switch.
But I'll probably be saving up, putting that mug on layaway, paying it off month by month, week by week. So, but we're going to get into our last story. Switch retail game sales in Japan for this year has surpassed the 5 million mark. The Nintendo Switch is an unstoppable powerhouse right now. It's not only the system itself, though, it's also the retail games, such as the recently released Octopath Traveler, receiving much love to the point suppliers literally couldn't keep up with the demand. In Japan, the system has already reached another milestone with retail sales for this year going beyond the 5 million mark. As noted by Games Data Library, the sales obviously do not even consider the additional digital copies sold on the eShop. And they do have a Twitter site, and it shows retail software sales more than 5 million Nintendo Switch games sold in Japan for the year so far. So it says Nintendo Switch. It just says this week, last week, last year, year to date, last year to date in LTD. It doesn't give me a day. I guess this is posted on July 26th of 2008. So I think it's that week. So Nintendo Switch had 240,199 copies of games. That following the week before that, it had 257,976. Last year, in total, it had 714,662. Year to date, 5,150,209. Last year to date, 2,559,117, and then LTD 12,448,437. PlayStation 4 and 3DS is beating it. But yeah, like 5 million just from Switch itself. In fact, it was reported, you guys can check this out also, Nintendo Live, that because of the Nintendo Switch, retail game sales have jumped up in Japan. So it has broken the slump. Because I guess
Right.
they weren't doing a lot of good sales for a lot of retail games in Japan. But
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch changed all of that.
Well, I'm telling you, I think it has something to do with cartridges too. Like I don't know what it is, but and I think the nice thing about it is very much like the 3DS and stuff. You have the little cartridges. It's so easy to just have something that can hold a bunch of those and bring them with you. Like it's so much easier to bring those a whole bunch of little cartridges with you when you're bringing your system somewhere else or whatever versus having to carry a whole bunch of CDs or whatever. Like, and a lot of the times, people, I think especially in Japan and stuff, they like to have like, certain physical things and stuff like that. Oh, I mean, a lot like here too, but.
Yeah, it said that it had 556 games in Japan. So probably a lot of that is digital, but pretty much it sounds like every retail game that has come to Japan has helped it do numbers. Just like here in America, like a lot of games that have been released physically here has done wonders, has done good. Even 50,000 to 256,000 in physical is good because that's just showcasing that people are guaranteed to go and buy that game where you don't really have to worry about pre-sales if there's a lot of copies, but it just showcases that people are willing to buy that game instead of like PlayStation, Microsoft. They can have 10 big titles, but only 2 of them might sell very well because people were anticipating. It feels like anytime a Switch game gets announced and they're like, whether it's digital or physical, a lot of people are going to go out and get that physical version of it.
Yeah.
So that's guaranteed sales for it. We talked about the Switch tax and stuff here in America. That like I said, that doesn't even matter anymore. People will pay the $30 or $40 to have that physical version of a Switch game.
Yeah.
So it still shows you that the power of physical, for some unknown reason for Nintendo, is important. And I think it's always been important for Nintendo players and people who are now just getting into it, that, getting a cartridge, it'll still have some loading times and stuff, but it don't have a long loading times like PS4, Xbox One, or even PC. Because sometimes even PC games have long loading times. It feels like with the Switch that loading times are just it's fast. You can put it in your pocket, put it in the case. Like, if you really think about it, like physical cases for the Nintendo Switch and a little bit of 3DS, but more for Nintendo Switch is like almost it's going to almost be included in a Nintendo Switch console purchase alone.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know exactly how it works, but I'm guessing that the big thing that makes a difference with cartridge versus disc is I'm guessing there's probably more access points to the data on the cartridge than because with the disc you got the one laser that's got to move into position, whereas with the you think about it, like we can now we got those little micro SD cards that can hold like hundreds of gigs on one little tiny thing.
Yep.
And so to be able to, just imagine if it got to that point where you could even just have like something that big on those little cartridges.
Well,
they literally would never have to worry about running out of space.
Well, that's why a lot of people are trying to wait for good sales. Like a 64 gig will hold people who buy digital but don't buy a lot, because there's hope. There's people are waiting for a physical version, because definitely with a physical version with Nintendo, you don't want to trade it in, or you don't see many people trading in their games.
Yeah.
Because since a lot of their library is digital only, people will go out and get it digitally because they've been excited for that game. And those digital sales sometimes help to go get a physical version released. With the like limit of a 2 terabyte or even a 4 terabyte micro SD card, you pretty much could put every Nintendo game, every indie game, and third party game on that micro SD card, even with saves and stuff, and still have enough room. With a
Yeah.
with a 4 terabyte, you could put all 500 plus games on there and still have room.
Yeah. Well, and I think like once they make that jump to the next size of the cart,
Next year, yeah.
yeah, I think that will be a pretty big game changer in the ways of like for people, like I know especially for me, like I think I would probably start jumping into the physical stuff maybe more when that happens, because as it is right now, a lot of those bigger games, like I have, like Bayonetta and Resident Evil, the Resident Evil games or whatever for Switch, you still had to download like one of the games because the cart wasn't big enough to hold everything on it.
Yeah.
And so, like, once they make that jump to that, like, I think more people will be inclined. Like, I'd be curious to see if the numbers in physical sales go up a little bit when you don't have to worry about downloading stuff onto your Switch.
It's going to increase, but you're not going to notice it. I think
Yeah.
it's going to be steady, and people going to be like, "Hey, they got the 64 kit card out. That's cool." But if I'm a person who still buys games digitally, they'll still continue to buy it digitally. They won't switch over to physical. But a lot of collectors and people who feel like physical is very important, they'll go and still buy those games and be able to buy more. Because once that, I think more people will be like, okay, now that you got this big cart out, now we feel like bigger games could come out. Because think about it. Personally, if Rainbow Six Siege complete came out for Switch, of course, you'll probably still get it.
I would.
If that fit on a 64-bit game and it does more than what PS4 and Xbox One offer, and even PC, and you could crossplay with it, I think a lot of people would go out and buy that game, and that would help jump the user base of it. And I think it will still bring more. I think it will bring more people into the fold. That people gonna play that game more on Switch, with fellow Xbox One and PC players.
Well, and what would like with Rainbow Six Siege as an example, like that game would be perfect for bringing over to Switch because they've already said that they're gonna that game's gonna have like a 10-year lifespan, so it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So like that would be a game that they could easily bring to the Switch, and it wouldn't be like, oh well, this is an old game. No, that doesn't matter how old it is, because it's still being added to. It's still new every year. It gets a complete remake, restructuring, and like at the end of each, all the seasons, or even the beginning of each season, it usually gets a little bit of a facelift, and it looks completely different from the last season.
And
so like that game is always being updated and improved.
And it don't even have to look good I mean, it has to look good, but if it could get to like Bethesda and Point Blank level of goodness, like there's no problems. I think people want to care about it visually or anything, but I'm like, if it works and the crossplay works, dude, a lot of people will jump into it, and that's more sales for Ubisoft to be like, hey, maybe bring one of your open world games. bring the Division 2 if it works. Bring the Division 1 complete with with updates. Like, literally, if it could work on Nintendo Switch and you seeing 300 plus sales physically plus digitally, that just adds more. And maybe people in Japan would be like, you know what? If I could play this with my U.S. counterpart and everything, and we could run missions, heck, that's that's gonna be literally crazy.
Yeah.
In our turkey friends, for people who pick up a Switch there.
Yeah, I really do. I really would like to see Siege come to Switch, because like that game is just so unique in that that genre of game for, first person shooter. It just does something like so interesting and so cool.
Well, this will happen, and I'm sorry that I interrupted. What's going to happen is that people are going to get into Siege if Siege came out for Switch, people will get into it, and once they start showing those videos on Twitter and talking about the game, then the marketing is going to work. If it works on Switch, that marketing, people are going to market that game more, and then that's going to become more sales.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No,
Continue.
I was just gonna say, yeah, like I would just like to see that game get more attention. Like, because I mean, it already is getting a lot more attention than when it first came out, which is a really good thing, and I'm happy about.
But it's not
more
getting
people recognizing it.
It's not getting attention because it's on those platforms, and not a lot of people are not promoting it during those platforms. But if they're like, hey, people promoted Doom from Switch. People are promoting Fortnite on Switch. People are promoting Wolfenstein 2 on Switch.
Yeah.
Like that hashtag, that stuff, that social media stuff, whether it's on Facebook or Twitter, dude, a lot of people are hashtagging it Nintendo Switch. So they're showing where they're playing that game. And if they add like I said, if they add crossplay to it, that's going to be guaranteed sales if that game could work.
Yeah.
And Ubisoft would be crazy. I mean, they're making their money, but Ubisoft would be crazy not to put Rainbow Six Siege. Playing that game on the go with other people while you waiting on the train, or you at Comic-Con or whatever. Dude, running missions with other people, heck, you could still have that enjoyment of teaming up with other people with local play.
Well, and what's nice about that game is it does have the feature of like making your own matches and stuff like that. So it, it's got that you got the ability to be able to play like in game, in house co-op and things like that too.
I think, and this is gonna be the last point, and then we're gonna do some plugs and get let you guys go for the week. It would be cool if they literally added a map mode where create your own map and and create levels and stuff right there. If they could add that to a Switch version and it's compatible with all the other systems, like they just release it as an update. Dude, I think what we're having is people will try that on Switch, get feedback for it, and then flesh it out on PC or Xbox One if they already own the game. I think it would just benefit, because I think with the motion control you can move things around easier. And play stuff. And it'll be cool to be and to put it out as a beta and let people test run it and be like, hey, if you like this, I think this is where social media comes in. Also, be like, if you like this level and this idea, post it and leave me comments, and it could be like at that retro code. This is my Rainbow Six Siege level. If you guys like to play it, here go the code for it. Or if you're friends with me, you guys could download it. And bam, I'm like, I would love to get feedback on this, but whether it's on the Ubisoft forum or on my Twitter page and stuff, or Facebook page, I would love to get that feedback. And I think a lot of people I think a lot of people who pick the game up will work wonders and give you good and bad opinions and advice where you can go and tinker it and be like, okay, this is a great level now to play. I think it would be cool.
Yeah, it would be cool to see that like that Forge mode that Halo kind of made famous,
Yeah.
be able to be put in something like that. Because like that game is so like it's so set up so perfectly the way that it is like having a nice compact map where everything's kind of happening in a compact area makes it a really good game to have like like basically a house building. Like you basically would be like a house builder mode where you could build a building, like, just have like all the different kinds of variants of walls and things that you could put up.
What if the class that you choose is what you could create in the game? Like not using cheats or anything, but like if you're a healer, you could create a space to make it for teammates to like heal and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, they could. Yeah, they could. Yeah, like play to the different classes. Like have things that you could do to play to different classes and things like that. Like, yeah, I would like to even see like a new game mode moving forward. Like if they did have cross play, that would be pretty cool if they had a new game mode like where there was like a some kind of like vehicle or type camera type thing that, like, let's say like you and another friend are playing online, like, you're playing as the regular characters in the match.
Yeah.
But then each team could have they could have a person who can do like control like things in like active things in the map. And so like your friend could be sitting in the same room as you on his Switch, like being like controlling certain things that you can control inside the map.
Yeah.
And like actually, like they already have cameras and stuff like that you can kind of like, if someone dies, they can control that kind of stuff. But it would be kind of cool.
You have your Switch and you're in the match, but you're kind of being an operator, like an operative. And like you'd be like, okay, squad, people don't know if they have voice check or anything. You'd be like, squad, if you go to room 3A, there's an enemy hiding behind the desk, and you'll be able to give like kind of directions or something.
Yeah. Well, what I'm thinking of is like, because this is something they really haven't done yet in Siege that I really, really think they could make for an interesting little addition. But like, what if like you could have like each team had a designated hacker, so like you could hack into the house and like have each house, they could build them, rebuild the houses around things being ran by, like, nowadays we have like the Echo and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That you can tell to turn on your lights and stuff in your house. Like, what if you could, like, the designated hacker could be like looking on the cameras and see a guy's about to go into this room, and you could let your team know, and then you could hack those lights in that room that he's about to go in and shut the lights down. So then you could, but it would only be for like a certain amount of time that the lights would stay turned off before it reboots and turns them back on. But it would be like a way to use to like.
Oh, would it be on any platform?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so you could, like, what game is that? There's a game where you can hack and do things, and then the other team can hack and do things at the same time.
Only hacking thing I could think of, but it's not multiplayer. It's gonna be Watch Dogs.
Yeah.
Or it could be Deus Ex. Mankind.
Yeah. Watch Dogs 2, I think, is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Watch Dogs 2.
I think it's that. Yeah, like if they were to add some kind of element of like being able to turn lights off or shut power down in certain areas for a certain amount of time, or like have hazardous things, like where you could, like in Watch Dogs, where you could like make a electrical box explode, and if someone's close by it, they can get a little bit of damage from the electricity,
I mean, it
or
is
like
Ubisoft.
yeah, yeah, things like that. If they were to start adding things like that, and then like if you decided you didn't, like you have the Switch and you didn't really want to necessarily play as one of the characters, but you wanted to on the go in your house as you're walking around, you can, like be the hacker of a group, and that's something that you could kind of do and not have to be as completely immersed into what's going on in the actual match.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be kind of, like something neat that they could do. Like they could add to the game, because with this idea of them running for this game for 10 years, it's like at this point, like what else are they going to come up with as special things that these operatives can do, moving forward. And it's just like, I feel like that's going to be a natural progression, is they're going to have some kind of like someone that can do stuff like that. That would be kind of cool.
Now, everybody, I just made Jesse happy because we got to talk about Siege. Now he wants to switch Richard to come.
Yeah, I don't get to play it as much as I'd like to anymore. I really want to get back to that game eventually.
Good and well.
Such a fun game.
After we get Arsenal X, you're going to probably pop it on and just be like, I'm going to play this for an hour or two. Be like, Jesse, it's 7 a.m. in the morning. He's like, oh, yeah. But everybody, that's Nintendo Power Block. Jesse, where can we find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at Phantom Maggot AX. And I also, I don't know if you're interested. I do have a SoundCloud page too, that I just like make beats and like techno dance music and just screw around on Fruity Loops, and I have stuff on there.
Good, everybody, really, really good.
And it's Jesse Douglas, and then in quotations it's Phantom Maggot AX there, but there's spaces between all of that. So
all right, Chilla G.
Yeah, I changed it. I changed it to Phantom Maggot AX because then that way it like to kind of like incorporate everything, like because now my Xbox.
That's what we were talking about. The Chilla G thing.
Yeah.
That was with the shade and everything.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's what it was about. That's right.
You guys have to listen to I think it's AX, Arsenal X. You guys have to listen to that last week to understand it. You guys can find me on Twitter at ThatBretcherCode, and you also can check out my podcast Optional Opinion on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, tune in and other podcast apps. You guys can check out Nintendo Power Block on our Facebook page, Nintendo Power Block on Facebook. Here on Nerds Gone Rogue on our YouTube page, Nintendo Power Block. If you guys like our content, subscribe there. You can also check it out at ngrradio.com. We do also have a Twitter at Power Block. Is it at Power Block? I think it's at Power Block.
Yeah, I think it's
Every time
Power Block podcast wait. Did you say the email?
No, our Twitter. I'll get to the email after it.
Yeah, our Twitter. Yeah, the Twitter is. Yeah, I think it's Power Block pod. I don't. I just forgot now.
Okay, I'm bad, everybody.
It's NGR Power Block. That's what it is.
NGR Power Block. Okay.
Yeah. I think there's an NGR in the front of it actually. But yeah,
I need to study all of that, write it all down. Everybody, once again, off for work. I know I should have had this all together. But...
you got to get some Post-it notes, and then you write it on there, and then you stick it around your monitor.
Exactly. Yeah, I got cores and monitors. Like I'm using like 3 monitors and everything. I'm doing a lot, everybody, so you have to forgive me. You guys can check us on or email us at Nintendo Power Block at gmail.com. If you still want to hear your guys' pros and cons, Nintendo versus whatever, another game, give us 3 pros, 3 cons for that Nintendo game, 3 pros and 3 cons for that other game. No one loses, but we would just like to kind of hear what you guys think about that. You guys can also check out ntrradio.com. I have a blog for my for it called The Fascination of Free Will. Do give it a read, and it's very interesting. I didn't do anything negative or anything. I kind of just talked about how it's kind of fascinating when you realize free will. But sometimes with that, everybody, have a great week, have a great weekend, and we will see you next time on Nintendo. And hopefully, with that, everybody, we'll talk to you later. Bye. Woo-hoo.
Bye.